Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The first time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
Holy Monday, November 22nd, as we're recording this. I can't believe it. November 22nd. It's the week of Thanksgiving.
I know it. I know.
Week of Thanksgiving and going into the one of the most tumultuous times if you're trying to stay on track and be healthy and eat right, going into Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the cookies and the alcohol.
No, it's always
very
just
exciting.
Same old, right?
Very exciting.
Yeah. So getting geared up for that. Actually, I'm taking. I'm going to stop at the Deviled Egg Company and I'm bringing the appetizers. So I'm picking up some different flavors of deviled eggs.
Different flavors of deviled eggs.
Yeah, they have. I
flavors?
was looking at them. They have everything from, and I haven't tried them yet, so I can't speak to that. But I've heard some really good things. But they have like traditional deviled eggs, and then they have some that are with sriracha, some with barbecue, some with pulled pork. Some
I bet a
with
dill pickle one would be good.
South of the border one, which is one that's got some peppers in it. So I don't know. They've got about 6 or 7 different flavors. So I got a little bit of each one.
Yum.
And so I'm taking those. So I'm going to pick those up Wednesday.
That actually sounds super. I love deviled eggs.
I do too. And I'm like, you could make them. That'd be great. But boy, try some different flavors. But then again, it may be one of those things. Who knows? I don't know. It's like one of those things where we've had the same party for years, right? And everybody brings their whatever you're expected to bring, you bring it.
Yeah.
So you got the same. One of my favorite, the Black Forest cakes or pies, whatever you want to call it. I always have to have a piece of that. And whoever makes the green beans, whoever makes the potatoes, everything is just perfect. But everybody makes their own thing. Yeah. And then they bring it potluck, and it's like 6, 7 families. We've talked about this before. So anyway. Anytime somebody brings something new, it's kind of like,
Who do you think you are? So you may be who's that bee in the corner bringing those fancy things?
Right. It could be one of those, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to give it a whirl.
Oh, man, just cannot wait to crush food. Beth is in a wedding on December 11th. And I have to be dressed up appropriately as well.
Oh.
So we're in the process of finding my outfit. And we went and tried on dress shirts yesterday. And I'm right at the border, the cusp, the precipice of having to get a new, not a bigger shirt, my suit that I have, it's a slim fit, athletic slim fit, bad. I mean, not to brand, but it fits me perfect. Fits me great.
There you go.
So the shirt underneath needs to be like a athletic, like a slim fitty, whatever. So we tried on yesterday and I put the shirt on. I'm like, oh, this feels pretty good. She goes, you cannot gain an ounce between now and December 11th. So that's why I'm thinking it's so stressful because I just want to crush all this stuff.
Don't you think maybe you could, might want to consider getting one that's maybe a little bit bigger and then getting it tailored with maybe an elastic or polyester panel in the back. That would give you a little breathing room in the back. Because you're never going to take right?
I don't know. I may party. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Maybe
I'm not going to get, if I have to get an elastic panel put in the back of my dress shirt, not happening.
Then you can take all the pressure off Thanksgiving.
Not happening.
Unless then the other side is you go ahead and enjoy Thanksgiving and then you got 10 days to take it off. 2 weeks.
It's going to be a terrible
2 weeks.
Terrible
right?
2 weeks. But, okay, so here's something you can dive down your little hole later and do some research. But the reason why I'm not just buying a shirt that's just a different shirt is because there are no shirts. There in Kohl's, like seriously, in Kohl's, we even went to Costco, we went to Marshall's, we went to TJ Maxx. There are no men's dress shirts. And I think they have some, Kohl's has the most, but they have like 1 or 2 of each style, and that's it. I wonder if it's a supply chain or something, because there is nothing.
Well, it very well could be, because I have a feeling that a lot of the dress shirts are made not in this country.
Yeah.
You might check Amazon too. They have that you can try it before you buy it thing.
Yeah.
The Amazon, like Van Heusen shirts, Calvin Klein shirts, they do have some on here on Amazon. Let me just see, though, what the delivery date is, what it says. Like if you grabbed a white, what color? Is it white?
Well, oh, yeah, white.
Okay.
Yeah, it's...
You could get this, select a size. Okay, hold on.
Don't ask me what my size is because I don't know.
What size is your neck?
I don't know.
That's
this big?
17, 16?
No, it's not that big. I think it's 15 and a half.
Okay, we'll just go
with
that.
But I don't know.
We'll just go with this, and we'll just see what comes up.
Okay.
Free delivery November 24th to the 30th. So that's not.
It could be cutting it close.
That's in 2 days. So that's in today's the 22nd. So it could get here between Wednesday and you're right.
So maybe if
that's a possibility because you can send them back.
Yeah. So
you could maybe order
get
a
them
few
here,
sizes.
or maybe So I'll have to look into that.
Look into that and see, because even that's not guaranteed. Because sometimes when you go to order clothes on here, because you can do that, try it before you buy it with the Prime thing. But they aren't available for like 2 weeks, and that's the same thing.
Yeah.
That they're looking at because they're not made here, which means they have to be shipped here.
Right.
Which means they're floating in the bay right now.
So, right.
More than likely.
So it's kind of,
unless they're heading to the canal so they can get to Texas. So, I don't know.
So it's one of those things where I just have to go zero carbs after Thanksgiving. Oh my God.
It's so funny as I heard somebody talking about they stopped it and I follow some of those people on the zero carb or zeroing in on health, I think is one of the groups that I follow that are zero carbs. They literally are zero carbs. They're carnivore. And talked about stopping by Waffle House to eat. And she goes in to order and she ordered 6 eggs over easy, 2 orders of bacon and an order of sausage. And she called him Waffle House Steve, so it's WH Steve. So Waffle House Steve looked at her funny. And I said, are you sure you don't want toast, pancakes? Nope, I don't want any of that garbage.
Garbage, I love it.
I like that.
Garbage.
That's exactly what it is. She says, and he says, seriously? And she says, no, I'm allergic. It makes me break out in fat.
That's hilarious.
I'm on board with that. I just need to get there. I get back there, I should say. It's like I had that moment where it's like I found my sweet spot and then I fell off. And it's hard to get back in there.
It's hard.
Once you start eating other stuff, and it's the breads, potatoes.
All that stuff. It just kind of pulls you back to the dark side. Yep, and it's hard to get back.
Reading that just made me laugh, and I'm like, okay, thank you. I needed that. That's what I needed to hear. But I got to get past Thanksgiving because there's also the other side of it is being sabotaged at Thanksgiving. Anybody on any kind of restricted diet where you're really trying to avoid sugar in particular, but maybe it's other carbs as well, is there's always that look of disdain and disappointment that comes from your family.
Yes.
Would you just eat the piece of pie?
Like, who cares? How does it?
I don't know why it matters.
Does it ruin your day if I don't have a piece of pie?
I don't
know. Your pie is amazing. You know your cake is amazing. Whatever it's fantastic. Is it going to ruin your day? Please don't take it personal.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Right, I don't understand that either.
It's always, why didn't you get any? You didn't get any of her pie.
Maybe it's an old school thing because if you'd go to my grandma's house and you wouldn't eat, it was a sign of you don't like my food.
And also, remember, as a child, clean your plate because there are children starving in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember hearing that.
Which was awful because usually it was, you had to eat everything on your plate and maybe you just weren't hungry for everything.
Yeah.
But you think about it, it's like at the time, I know why they were trying to do it, but I don't understand as long as they eat.
Right. I didn't.
Does it
my mom didn't have
matter?
to tell me that very much. I was a pig.
Or eat. You want to grow up to be big and strong, right? And so now I'm just big. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
like I get it. Eat your veggies. Make sure because you're not going to have cake later if you don't eat your veggies. I understand that.
Why? It's like neither one of them necessarily.
But like if the kids, like looking back to when my kids, I never did clean your plate. But I'm like, if you don't, they'd eat the hot dog but they wouldn't touch the vegetables or the juice, but then they'd go want cookies all night. Like that's not going to happen. So you got to eat your you got to have veggies because otherwise they would be just.
And I think too,
very unhealthy.
Trying to keep kids away from sweets is hard.
Very hard.
But it's also one of those things that's learned.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's used as it's the carrot and the stick, right?
Yeah,
it's the carrot.
Well, that's why
you can have some cookies if you do X, Y, Z.
Sure,
big mistake.
Oh, I'm all about bribing though. Back in the day, I'm all about freaking bribing.
But then it goes the other way.
It can,
and it's kind of like don't get me started. Yeah, I am speaking of rabbit holes.
Okay, right.
Oh my God. Anyway, saw a weird story this weekend. I didn't know if anybody else had seen this. I haven't heard about Chris Daughtry in ages.
It's been a minute,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Our favorite memory of Chris Daughtry?
When Heidi loves Chris Daughtry. Loves. I'm assuming she still loves him.
Mm-hmm.
He came to town, and we got her as a surprise backstage to meet him and whatever. And so she got her big moment, and she could say anything. She thought he was the sexiest man on the planet. I think her husband Ryan was there.
Gave her a pass. It was all good.
It was great. He's like, if he'll do it, go make out. I don't care. So she goes to drop the science on Chris to try to just and she leans over in his ear as they're at the meet and greet and whispers, could say anything in the world. Thanks for coming to Omaha. And she's like, that moment she realized she blew it.
That's it.
So that's my favorite memory of him.
She's total vanilla. It's like, come on.
And Ryan, I'm sure Ryan probably thought,
like,
he goes,
oh my God.
He goes, dude, I knew there was no chance of it.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. So his name popped up in the news this weekend. Not really his name, I guess, over the last week, I should say, because I hadn't seen this story before, and apparently it's been out over the last, say, maybe this weekend. I don't know. Maybe it was before. But Chris Daughtry's wife has been, quote, speaking out about the rumors that her daughter's death is being investigated as a homicide.
Had not heard of this.
So that came out this weekend. But the news of the death apparently happened a week or so ago, that she was found in her home. I think it was. Let's see, it says here, Hannah Marie Price, which she had a son and a daughter before she married Chris. They've been married like 20-some years. They have a set of twins. But the 25-year-old was found at her home in Nashville. And early reports speculated that her death was a homicide, but then the DA stepped up and said, you know what, it is a death investigation. It'd be premature to classify it as a homicide at this point, though. But anyway, she has attempted, they said, to clear up the rumors. And I don't know, maybe it has to do with who people were talking about, because there's no mention of who would want to hurt her or who may have been responsible. But anyway, she just says, here I'm trying to deal with my daughter's death, and then people start talking about that it was a homicide. And I guess it just seems like a non-story to me, in a sense that you would think, you'd want every possible stone turned.
If there was something shady
at all.
Yeah. If there was something not even shady, if the police or whoever think that there's a reason to investigate something more, let them.
Let them.
Yeah.
But regardless, horrible story. 25 years old. You got to wonder.
And there's no
I haven't seen anything
nothing
about that.
No like crime scene. Drug over nothing. Yeah, I hadn't heard of anything. Although the last week it's been everything that's been going on up in Wisconsin, and then this weekend it was that, and then the thing that happened at the parade in Wisconsin yesterday. So I could see where that story may have gotten buried over the last week.
It still makes and you bring up a good point though, is that kind of thing makes no sense to me, is that things are getting buried in the news, because the news cycle does move quickly, but it's like every single outlet focuses on exactly the same story. Nobody is offering up anything different. Nobody's trying to say, hey, let's take a look at some of these other stories in the country. And like to that point about the story that happened in Wisconsin, which was, I had the videos. I'm like, okay, I'm out. I got to stop because I can't watch this. And it kept showing up in the timeline.
I know I can't watch those.
And they said numerous deaths.
And the videos of that. The SUV screaming down the street and coming within a foot of a kid's just standing there. And did you see how they found the vehicle? Mm-hmm, yeah, backed into a driveway.
Mm-hmm. That seems weird.
Super weird.
I don't know. And other people have made mentions about false flags, that there's something isn't fitting. Something doesn't make sense because of all the things just busting through the police barricade, roaring down the side street, and not hitting anybody. When they almost hit that little girl. I saw that one. But avoiding everybody, and then all of a sudden just going right through.
Like they were going for something specific, someone specific.
That's the thing. It just looks so crazy. But to your point about, I didn't see that because this is all I've been seeing with the Rittenhouse trial as well. That's all anybody was covering. But you know what? Ghislaine Maxwell that trial's about to start.
Which I saw that this weekend as a meme, and I thought it was just a joke. And then I started just kind of going on Twitter, and I realized I had no clue we were that close to having her trial.
I saw when it came out, I think a 3 weeks ago when they started jury selection. I think they had a pool of like nearly 60 people they had to go through for the jury selection. And it's been over 15 months or about 15 months since she's been in custody. And the weird thing is and there was a picture of her, and she looked very pale, had a black eye. I don't know why. I'm not sure if that was cause health or other things. But I don't understand when they said, her family, I don't even know if it's her family because I don't know if she has any family. I think she has some brothers and sisters. Maybe that's who was talking out. But saying that she's kept in a room where there's no natural light, and they wake her up with a bright light or something like that to wake her up to make sure she's awake because of what happened to Epstein. right? And Epstein didn't kill himself. I'm sorry. But anyway, regardless what you think, but regardless, they don't want this to happen again because they're so close. And the judge has already made some rulings about the little black book, and the names will be made public and this and that. But there won't be TV cameras in there because this is a federal trial, is what somebody said, as opposed to what Rittenhouse's was.
Oh, that's that's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate.
That would have been absolute must-see TV.
Absolutely, 100%. But the look of her, and I wonder if it is because she hasn't been in natural light and she's under constant surveillance. What I don't understand when they said that they have to go into her cell, this and that, every however many hours to make sure she's okay. I'm just surprised they don't just station somebody practically in her cell.
Yeah.
Just to stay with her 24/7.
Well, didn't they do that with Epstein?
No, because they had the cops down. They weren't they were watching surveillance, or they would go check on him.
Okay.
But they weren't right
in
there.
The room, yeah.
And I don't understand, if you've got somebody this high priority, isn't there some way we can make an exception to the rule as far as accommodations so that this person is 100% surveilled
all the time
and taken? Yes, exactly. Because you want them to make it to trial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you would think you'd want them in the best health possible, so that you can find out exactly what happened. They're afraid that she will harm herself. They're afraid that other people will come in. They said her eyesight is failing. They said that her hair's falling out. They said that the security, though, is of course designed to keep her from hurting herself. So it's just crazy. She's tried to also. She applied for bail. But those, I think, 4 attempts that have been turned down. No.
If I was her, I would not want to get out. I want, honestly, if she really wants to out some people and she wants to bring some people down with her, though. But I don't know why she wouldn't at this point. She's not going anywhere. Like, she's not getting out. She's not going to be free. So why not bring other people down or get not necessarily bring them all down, but out these dirt bags that we all know.
Why is she protecting them?
Right. Why is she protecting them? And if she's never, if you're never going to get out of jail, you're going to be. Why worry about it? Just do it. And I would not apply for bail. I'd be scared to death.
There's no place she can hide.
Right.
There's literally no place she can hide. It's her older brother, Ian. That's the one that has been talking about this the most, about her 24-hour surveillance. Well, that's great, but I don't know if they need to keep her awake. But they said she's sleeping on a concrete bed, no access to natural light. I don't understand those conditions.
I don't understand that either. If you want her in the best health possible, she needs natural light. Exactly. She needs something.
Right?
I get not having sheets, and if you're worried about she's going to hang herself or whatever, but there's maybe for 10, maybe she doesn't need to be watched all the time, but for 12 hours a day when she gets sheets and a pillow and somebody's in there with her.
Yeah.
When she has this up, and
so
then they take
sleep,
it with her. Yeah, so
right?
she can sleep. They can sit and do crossword puzzles, play Angry Birds, whatever, while she's sleeping. And then after 12 hours, all that stuff's taken out, and she goes on about her day.
Interesting. So other details that have come out about this, and the trial is supposed to be starting soon. So there's a couple of really good accounts on Twitter, and one of them is called Trial Tracker, I think it is, and they put out that they're going to be exclusively watching the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. So you can get reports from that Twitter account, because they were doing Rittenhouse before. They've done other trials, but I think it's called Trial Tracker. Okay. And because there are no other outlets right now, there's nobody covering this.
None.
I mean,
I haven't seen it anywhere.
Everybody has sent. It's just like, okay, we're going to send all of our people here, and then everybody shows up at the same spot.
I know.
While all the rest of the news is happening everywhere else, and nobody's there. I want to know what went down. I had
honestly, until Friday, I hadn't heard about that big, huge volcano that's been going off for the last 5 weeks.
No.
And 85,000 people are in danger, and I haven't heard one thing about it.
You don't see those. You don't see the reports about the riots, or not riots, but the protests that are going on worldwide, protests that are going on, and millions of people in the streets marching in so many different countries. You don't see it. You don't see it unless you're following certain accounts that are putting the videos up, because everybody else in the world is watching it, and everybody else in the world is watching what's going on here, but also paying attention to what's going on in their own home. Yeah. And they're wondering why we're not reacting the way we should be reacting to certain events, because we don't know about it.
Yeah, we don't. We have
you want to talk about a blackout?
Yeah, we don't know.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And it's not an imposed blackout. It's like for some reason they've chosen this is what you're going to hear about. My God, hello, North Korea.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the rest of the news that's going on? It just doesn't make any sense that nobody's covering this stuff.
I know.
And Ghislaine Maxwell of all of them.
This could be the biggest story of the last 50 years.
Oh my God. I want to know if there will be details, let alone the fact that she of course is charged with soliciting and procuring and just, unbelievable stories. And she's got the list of people that they worked with. She knows she was like the business manager apparently doing this. And I want to know who was doing this, because you know that every one of those people on that list was compromised.
Yes, 100%.
And other people were taking advantage of that.
100%.
Right?
I can't wait to hear these names.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about any of his homes. Like what I heard, one of his homes I think got sold and they tore it down. And I'm like, what? Wait, did somebody do a documentary on this? Because I want to see some of these homes. I want to see the home in Nevada. I want to see that's the home in Manhattan.
Why don't you do some research to see who bought it?
Can't find anything.
He's like, go to Zillow. You ladies can find everything on Zillow.
Not every state reports, just so you know. Just like in Nebraska, not every county reports.
Oh, that's stupid.
It's hard to find stuff everywhere.
Okay.
But I'm just saying. I want to know. I want to know what was in those houses. You heard the rumors about what was in the house in Manhattan. You heard the rumors about the tunnel system that was in Nevada. You heard the rumors about the house in Florida. You heard the rumors about
somebody probably bought it. Somebody probably extremely rich and influential bought it and was paid to destroy it.
Right?
For whatever reason. But if the police got in there and got the evidence they needed, whatever, that's fine.
I hope they did.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we haven't seen.
I would think that they could have. There's no way I would think there's no way the police would allow it to be sold until they got everything out of it they needed. The feds. There's no way.
What I worry about is that none of it will be. Oh, here, the Palm Beach estate was demolished. That happened about a year ago. Not even a year ago. That was in April. It was a 14,000 square foot, 6-bedroom home. And somebody said, oh, okay, one of the guys that bought it. He said, I only got involved to ensure it would be wiped off the map. People want to know about these things. I mean, people want to see what was inside these homes. And then the 7,500 acre property in New Mexico, he originally bought that from the family of the state's former governor. His name was Bruce King. And named it Zorro Ranch.
So now
look that one up.
I have looked that one up. Yeah, I have looked that one up. It's freaky. So that one's been sold too, or it's not sold yet?
It doesn't say it's sold yet.
Okay.
But this one from the Palm Beach estate, and I think the one in New York City is the other one, that Upper East Side. Oh, no, it doesn't say here, but I might be on the wrong story right now. But I'm just like trying to find something quickly.
We got some homework to do today.
What I worry about is that some of this stuff we'll never know because he never had a trial. And it doesn't maybe pertain to her, so it won't show up in her trial. So where is it ever released?
I don't know.
I
would have an anxiety attack if I thought about that all the time. You just gotta let it go. You gotta let it go.
But we haven't been thinking about it, Pat, because nobody's reporting on it.
I'm right. No, I get it. But like the Epstein stuff, like not knowing what we don't know because he's dead. It's like I can't control that. Whatever we find out, we're gonna find out.
And the Zorro Ranch had a computer room that they said was basically the size of a house that was monitoring everything in every room. And that was the same way at the house in the island. Mm-hmm. They had that computer room there that had cameras in every hallway, every room, every closet. Same way in New York City.
So gross.
Everything has been documented. Everything.
Well, I can't wait.
And that's where Prince What's-His-Bucket stayed when he went to New York City.
Prince Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish his name was Prince What's-His-Bucket.
I do too. We need one of those.
Right? Shrek 5, Prince What's-His-Bucket.
So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now.
You got a lot.
Now I'm all ginned up, man.
You got a lot to do today.
Get me through the vacation. So anyway, there are other stories. There are other things that are going on, and that's what makes me sad is that not everybody is seeing, like you said, the volcano.
No clue.
What?
And some wacko, you probably know who this is. I dare I say fringe person. I saw him on TikTok and had a theory of why we haven't heard. He had a theory of the supply chain, why the supply chain is the way it is, and why the boats aren't being allowed into the docks to unload. And he said it's because the volcano, that geologists realize there's a really strong chance that this volcano could break apart whatever with the island and create this massive tsunami that if the boats are docked, there's not enough truck drivers to get the product inland. So they're leaving it on the boats because if and when that volcano, whatever, and the tsunami starts coming, the boats, all the products are safer on the ships because this tsunami would wipe out 5-10 miles inland. Mm-hmm. So that's and he was like, this is why we haven't heard about the volcano. We don't want to start a panic. So
you could tell.
So I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that little egg out there to you. So see if that's a possibility and say they don't want to panic people. That's why we haven't heard about the volcano.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm tired of the stories about they're just for your own good.
It seems odd, but it seems like a stretch.
I know, but then on the other side, it's like, just that little nugget that might be true, but I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, okay, there you go. There's another thing for you to dig into.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, you bet. That's script. That's itch you can't scratch.
Right?
Thanks for listening to our podcast. It's Pat and JT, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow us.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.